Lapaka Sheya, and I am a political science student here at the University of Namibia. And I will be moderating this interesting yet pivotal discussion. So I am a jokester by profession also. Many might not agree, but I am funny. And forgive me for cracking a joke here and there, but it's definitely just to light up the mood. So, yeah, can we start? Yes. All right. So my first question then would be, what kind of a leader does the Namibian youth need, and what qualities should such a president pose to effectively represent Namibia? I would like to start with our president, because they say at home you must always start, you know? Yeah. When she was looking at me, I already knew she was going to start.
Am I audible? Yes, okay. Thank you once again, Laurent, for the warm welcome, and Ms. Lapaka. It's an honor to be here. I feel like a guest in my own university, so at least it's a good thing. I think to just start off with answering your question, which is about qualities we expect from our president, it's no secret that the youth make up the biggest population when it comes to voting, especially in this country that we are. We make up about 70%, and that was concluded from the recently concluded census. It's not even 70, I think it's 71. So we are way above 70. So with that said, I think we as young people need a president that's able to represent us directly, and that means a great communicator. Because the moment you fail to communicate between the young people and the old people, not old per se, but you know, those that are not part of the 71%, I think you have failed us as a president, particularly because in Namibia we are divided into two major groups. The group that is, you know, there was part of apartheid. There's that group, and then there's us, the Generation Z. So I think for me, before we can even continue with this conversation, the biggest quality we need is someone that's able to serve as a communication, mediation between the two people that matter the most when it comes to the republic. Because even in parliament, we see that there's constant arguments and debates between the very, very young people and the more conservative people. We've seen how the young people like Patience Maswa were able to, you know, pass a motion or discuss and deliberate a motion firmly about how, just an example, if you're sleeping with your wife by force, it's sex. It's a rape, I mean. That is what the young member of parliament was saying. But then the older generation was saying, oh, you're my wife, you're my husband. If we have sex together, whether by force or not, that doesn't make it sex. That doesn't make it rape. It just means we are considering to having sex. So I think that goes to show that, honestly, the two individuals are not at the same brain thinking when it comes to ideas that are being posed. So it's about having someone that's able to transfer that information to the young party and to the older generation as well, and make both parties understand where it's coming from. So I think definitely amongst many others, we are looking for someone that can communicate what the youth is saying, communicate what the older generation is saying. Yes, Lapaka.
Much, Twapewa. I think the message is clear. Communication is key, not only in relationships, but it's key in governance as well. But I would like to move on over to our representative from COTA, because she's been smiling, so I'm ready to hear her answer as well.
Thank you very much for this opportunity. I think for me, the most important thing that a leader should possess is being able to be relatable and connected. Because as youth, we understand that they are older generation, you know, and as youth, we dive and we connect more to people that are relatable, people that can relate to us, a leader who can step down and listen to the youth's concerns, you know, somebody who can literally directly speak to us. Because we as youth people, we always complain about, no, we need a voice. We have things that we want to do. We want to be part of the decision making. So having a leader who is relatable and that can connect, like I feel like we really connected with the late Dr. Hage Ginkop in terms of like, I'm a creative, in terms of like music, he loved music. And that's where we could connect with him in a beautiful way. So to me is relatability and connecting.
Let me move over to this side then. Our representative from NAMCOL, what is your sentiment? Yeah.
Okay, without further ado, my personal opinion is someone that can be a born leader, someone who can fill in the shoes, but also someone who is very convincing. We need someone who cannot take no as an answer, but knows how to persuade around the roots, because elders are not people that are easily convinced. You need to know what to say, you need to know how to approach, you need to know who they are, you need to know their roots. Thank you.
Right. Is this one on? Am I audible? Right. I think the message is clear from the gentleman's side. We need key negotiators that are not taking no for an answer. So, Ms. Transport and Security SRC, what do you have to say?
Thank you very much for the opportunity once again. Now for me, one of the qualities that stand out most for me, apart from communication, like Twapewa said, is good listening skills. You know, we need a leader that can actually listen to us, to get what I'm saying, and also a leader that is empathetic, a leader that understands the current status quo, and a leader that is working tirelessly to address challenges such as high unemployment rate and basically just the social and economic issues that the community are facing. That's basically it.
And then this goes without saying, our representative from Triumphant.
The youth needs a president who has the interest of the youth. A president who is willing to listen to the youth. A president who has the ability to come up with youth empowerment projects, actual youth empowerment projects, and not just there. A president who will lead the country with a vision and who will serve with a heart. Also, the youth needs a president who can differentiate between traditional beliefs and and the current situation we are living in. Because if the youth stand up and want to raise their voice, and the president does not believes in traditional beliefs, he will not grant the youth the platform to speak, because they have the thing of saying children can speak with elders, or children can put inputs when elders are speaking. So we need a president who can balance between youth and the elder vision.
There you have it. That was the first question, which we asked about. There's something that needs to be added. Ooh, we are kicking off strong, hey?
I would also like to add something. I think two most important thing is also accountability. A leader who possesses accountability. We need somebody who is transparent and honest, somebody that the youth can trust. Another thing is also, just quickly checking my notes, tech savvy. Because we're living in a generation where we are in the tech-savvy generation. Everything is digital now. So a leader who understands the importance of technology in our day-to-day lives. As students, we need laptops, we need the internet, we need Wi-Fi. These are the most important things to have a better future, because the future is going into the technology world. So a leader who understands the importance of technology, because you find in rural areas that students, they don't have laptops. They don't know anything about technology. How are we supposed to be moving on to the future? How are we supposed to compete with other nations like South Africa and Botswana if we are not also equipping ourselves with technology and understanding the importance of technology? So I think also a leader who is tech savvy, we need that.
Right. So that was question one. And I think the key points that I took here was that communication is key, accountability is important, tech-serving leaders, as well as transparent leaders, honest leaders, reliable leaders. And I'm jogging my memory here, but there was a lot said. But we need leaders that can really speak to the youth, that can hear and understand the youth, and that can also, should I say fight? Not fight for the youth. Okay, fight for the youth. Apparently I can say that. So as student leaders, I'm sure that, this year was nothing short of a roller coaster. Some were recently elected, some are going into office now, and some have been in the leadership ropes, be it campus ICE boys and ICE girls, be it campus assistants, be it leaders on SHE level or class representatives. So you truly, I believe that the panel does understand the importance of being heard. Not only students, but being heard as the youth. So my next question then would be, how can young people get involved in decision making, and what should the president do to make sure that the young voices are heard at both a local and domestic level, assuming that this president or candidate has all of the qualities we mentioned now? I would like to start with the representative from IUM.
Thank you again for the question, Lapaka. So to answer the first question, how I think young people should do, what young people should do to get involved, I do feel like, others might think differently, but I do think that in as much as young people will want to get involved, opportunities and platforms should be there for them to actually get involved, because I can only do so much as a young person. I would want to do this, but then I don't really have the opportunity nor the platform to do that. This can be like, attending, now what I think young people should do is, attending seminars, workshops, and actually giving their input and opinions on like various topics, right? You would find that we're having this panel discussion now, he's recording it, you'll find that even the president might even look at it, right? So this is how we're actually making an impact. This is what getting involved can actually result into. And to answer the second question, on what the president should do, our late president would always have, what do you call them? Youth engagement, yes, thank you very much. He would always have youth engagements, and what we see from traditional authorities is that they would also have, meetings with, local people from their community, like let's come together, let's talk about the social challenges you people are facing, and then they work together to address those issues. Yeah.
I think I would like to move on to our representative from Triumphant College.
What the youth can do is attend campaigns, youth events, and what the president can do to ensure that the youth is present when it comes to decision making. They can have youth advisory councils, youth councils. They should implement youth councils that are accessible to everyone who is defined as a youth. And they should also have more civic educations in schools, tertiary levels, so that students or young people can actually understand what's going around them and what decisions they can make or inputs they can give to make decisions.
I would then like to move on to the gentleman right next to me for his sentiments.
Yes, thank you. It is safe to say that as a youth you shouldn't be lukewarm, because let's say the president does the most and you again yet are only in your bubble. What changes will you see, and how will the president feel, how will the government feel about the future? So it's safe to say you shouldn't be lukewarm. But on the president's side, it is really encourageable that he brings in projects that engages with the youth and activities where he exposes himself with the youth and hears them and also gets ideas from them. And from there, the government with their projects, and our city of Windhoek is doing this thing of employing people for the parking lots and those things. Government will surely get ideas from the youth regarding that. Thank you.
Ms. Representative from COTA, can we then have your voice on the matter?
Okay, how young people can get involved in decision making, it starts with us. It starts with me saying, you know what, I'm not happy with this thing, and I want to be part of the decision making when it comes into the Namibian nation, It starts with that. So once you start with yourself and you know that I want to involve myself in the decision making, because we have things like the National Youth Council. So the National Youth Council is an organization, it's a non-governmental organization that basically hosts different type of youth programs and events across the nation and across the nation into rural areas also. So making sure that, knowing that, okay, putting myself in a position that will allow me to make decisions, going to talk shows or attending youth programs. You have Monica Genkos who have the Be Free. Being a member of the Be Free, it just takes a step on basically making sure that your voices are heard. And what can the president do to make sure that the voices of the young people is basically including the young people in governmental, like have seats where in parliament where you have youths sitting in parliament, Let us sit in the parliament. Give us tables and chairs. Tables? Is it tables? Yeah. Give us a table for the youth to sit down in those places. And also, mostly also having yearly youth leadership programs. Have these leadership programs where it goes on and on. I think it's already established. I think this type of opportunities are there for the youth, but it just takes the youth to go out there and say, I want to be part of that program. I want to join this discussion. Like we are here right now. We are part of the decision making. Something is going to happen when the president or minister or somebody listens to this podcast. They'll be like, okay, the youth is having a voice. So it starts with us, and it started right now today.
And then our representative from UNAM then.
Speaking last means you're just summarizing what everyone has already said. So everything that has been said, everything that has been mentioned are ideas that I also wanted to put forward. So I can definitely say we have a very much capacitated panel sitting here. But just to conclude what was said, I think firstly I want to start off by applauding Namibia. I can definitely say that Namibia has made or taken measures to really include young people. Like she said, our late Dr. Hage Genkop had countless of youth engagements at the State House. Imagine, he called young people to come to the State House and discuss and deliberate on issues that we felt are perhaps not heard, or matters that we as the youth are further attached. That's already one step closer to involving the youth. Secondly, the appointment of continuous young people in parliament, not only from the ruling party, but even other parties. We have young people from the University of Namibia. We have 4 to 5 people that have been appointed from their respective parties to serve as members on parliament. That goes to show that, again, we as young people are getting an opportunity for us to speak up and to serve. And I, as a president, leading an institution where 4 of our own students are appointed to parliament, for me, I'm very, very proud of them. I'm honored, and I'm happy to know that I serve students that are even able to escalate into, bodies that make decisions. Thirdly, we have the Children's Parliament, another platform where young people, like learners, imagine high scholars, are invited into a room where they are able to speak on matters that contribute to the upbringing of our nation as a whole. These are all current existing measures that are put into existence currently as we speak, and they are definitely making an impact. So I think what we can do to just add on from that is just, like she said, we are already having the opportunities. We just need to take more control of it, to be deliberate and intentional on taking these positions and ensuring that we're able to use them to the best of our facilities. One thing I always tell people is that it doesn't stop with you. You don't have a limit as to what you can do. Sometimes you feel, okay, you're just an SRC. And so what? You're an SRC, you have enough power to write a letter to the Office of the President, asking the Office of the President or requesting for us to have an engagement with just young people of the university that can come and engage them on different matters. So the power lies with us, but I honestly believe we as young people have a lot of power. I promise you, try it. You can write a letter to their office, send it through, and you'll get a response. Yes, thank you very much.
Also, just to add on what you're saying, we have our Honorable Emma Theophilus, who is our Minister of Information and Technology. I mean, we are started. It's a beautiful thing to see that we do have young people that are sitting in the parliaments, young people that are ministers, So having that opportunity, as you mentioned, opportunities are there, but it's up to us to take it. I wanted to say the word, but I can't say the word. By the take the shit by the balls, or by the horns, yes, and then also use it to our benefits, Yeah.
I would like to start with you because your school has done the most in showing us that these things can't just be under one umbrella.
I was just So I'd like to be the last to speak here because like I've never really thought of it that way, and you've like just opened my eyes because I was like, okay, let me be the last to speak. That's even if I'll have like something. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Okay, the representative from Triumphant will then answer this question.
It will be a great idea to have each portfolio have their own budget, because it's not doing justice to have one budget. For instance, if I take the arts industry and the sports industry, the money they are going to spend is not proportionate to each other. So a brush costs $5, a painting brush probably costs $5. A soccer ball costs $200. That's the cheapest ball you can get. The cheapest quality ball you can get is $200. So how can I put this? It's not doing justice, because one sector will end up getting more because of the demand of equipments they need, and one will get less because of the amount the equipment they need. So it's advisable to actually have each portfolio on their own, have a quotation done, and then give them their budget accordingly. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Our representative from COTA.
I'm so excited about this question because this is a discussion, and it's something that is in the pipelines of, as the SRC president of the College of the Arts, we are working on to talk, because the College of the Arts falls under the Ministry of Arts, Sports, Arts and Culture. That's where we fall under. And I believe that the reason why we are having a lot of problems and why we are just stagnated and not moving anywhere is because of this particular reason. Your conversation that you had is a conversation I had with the rector, the HODs, and also the students of the College of the Arts, because this is something that we are fighting for, to try and bring to the ministry and tell them that, listen, arts and sports are two different entities. We cannot work together as one, because now with the arts, with the College of the Arts, when you're looking at the arts, we have radio, we have television, we have new media, and we have performing arts, we have also visual artists, also music, we have that. So it's something that we have really spoke about. It is a discussion among the College of the Arts students, and also with regards of also the minister. The letter was also sent out that we need a separate entity when it comes to the arts. Let us focus on arts alone. Let us focus on sports alone. And looking at the sport, looking at the art industry also, they say there's no money, but guys, let me tell you, there is money. There is money. And when I tell you where the money is coming from, it's international. Because when you look at the people, the USA, when they look at the country, they look at what is arts in this country. Because now, Namibians, I feel like we don't really understand how arts and creatives can bring to the country and what it can change lives. Because if you look in South Africa, I mean, you can be a filmmaker and just a filmmaker and you have a $1 billion house. You can be an actor and that is your full-time job. I have a degree in business management. I studied, but then I have the love because I'm a creative. I was like, no, let me go and pursue my passion and also enhance my talent in the arts industry. So that's when I applied to the College of the Arts. And when we look at this, in Namibia, you cannot just be an actor and that is your full-time job. I'm sorry. You cannot just be a visual artist and that's your full-time. Whether you're a photographer, you cannot. It's impossible. You understand what I'm saying? You have to have another type of job to try and, because I've worked with people that are actors, amazing actors, but these people are having full-time jobs. There is money. Don't let them lie to you. There is money in the arts industry, and especially when you integrate it with now the internationals. You know how much people get paid, just an actor, one person getting paid? It's a lot. It's a lot of money, So I do agree, and I do want, most importantly, let us separate arts and sports. Let's have arts and culture separately, and then let's have sports separately. because as he mentioned also, you cannot allocate the money to, because now the allocation of the money, because now arts and culture, you are giving this percentage, and then that is why the arts and culture in Namibia is not going anywhere. It's because we are being divided together with the sports also. Sports is also very important. Arts and culture is also very important. As he mentioned, there are people that are in rural areas that are creatives, man. I'm not intellectual when it comes to book smart, but I can draw you something that I can sell for $1 million. I am not intellectual when it comes to law or whatever courses it is, but why don't we focus on people that because now it also dives into also unemployment, in the unemployment rate. Not everybody is book savvy. Not everybody can sit and listen into a class, but there's somebody that is in the rural areas, especially in the rural areas. I've seen that there are a lot of people that are very creative. So when we pay attention to these specific people and give them the support and the funding they need, trust me, it's going to bring a beautiful future when it comes into the unemployment rate. Because now we can't just sit down and just, I'm applying to a job. Because now you have to also sit down as young people and say, what can I do entrepreneurially to create my own money? How can I make my own money? I can sell paintings. I can become a musician. I can play the piano for the first lady. I mean, guys, we need to really, really, really do a lot of research and see where the arts and culture is going to take us. Not taking away the sports also, with also sports. You find a student in a class who is not good at books, but running in the field like this, they will bring money.
It up. It's very important that we do the necessary justice to this ministry and this umbrella. And like she said, there are people that can run, man. I personally can't run, but there are people that can run. Just before we then move on, I would just like to just then throw in another question, which is then, because I think she mentioned unemployment and what an issue it is within the Namibian landscape. So without diverting too much from what we are here for today, I wanted to ask then, how can the education system and other sectors then be reformed to create jobs for the Namibian youth, especially in terms of arts, sports, in culture, as well as other things that many of the youth are passionate about. Ms. Rauna, do you still want to share some wisdom with us?
Anyways, actually, on the previous question, I'm still reeling from that question, but let me just answer it and this one. I feel like part of why the Ministry of Arts and Culture is not thriving is because it's not very personalized, and it now focuses on 3 different entities at the same time. So separating them would actually make things a whole lot easier for everyone. Allocating different budgets for different entities would actually make things a lot easier. Now, in regards to this question now, I do feel like curriculum should be reformed in such a way that it now focuses on technology, entrepreneurship, and agriculture, right? Let's do away with learning the purpose of a grasshopper and what the grasshopper does. Let's talk about what will actually bring us money. Let's talk about investing in agriculture, technology, and AI. We do know that AI is basically the future, right? And also building more vocational institutions, right? I feel like we are so focused on theory that we've now come to a point where that's not it has taken us somewhere, but how far has it really brought us? Because we'll see that we still have high unemployment rates and all these social and economic issues. So let's maybe try to reform the curriculum in such a way that we are trying to now accommodate other things, right? And not just focusing purely on theory. So yes, the curriculum does need to be reformed. Also career guidance. Yeah. We have a lot of career guidance programs in school where we're telling children, go for what you want, go for your passion. But then again, how is that really helping us? Because a learner will tell you, no, ma'am, I want to be a teacher. That's okay, but then look at the current status quo of the economy. Will you really get a job? Like, you might, but then chances of you getting it are like slim to none. Do you get what I'm saying? So like, advise students to go for what is in demand, and then once they get the job, they can now do what it is they wanted to do in the first place, because they now have that something to fall back onto. Yeah.
I think, Ms. Twapewa, I would like to hear your voice on the matter. Human capital is important, but in Namibia's case, we are in a surplus of creating or of feeding people into the market, often sometimes adding to frictional unemployment. Then what do you have to say? Because the university has been accused of producing too much. We are enough teachers now, enough nurses, enough lawyers. So what then do you have to say on this question?
People like accusing UNAM, let's start there. But also, just to answer your question, I think we as institutions of higher learning, we need to find a way to tailor make our teaching into a more practical based teaching. And I think that's where we are lacking, because the moment you send out someone into the market without any practical experience, it becomes difficult because no one wants to hire you because you don't have anything promising to give back to their community. That's why when you apply for jobs, people are saying 2 years experience, 3 years experience, 4 years experience, because they want someone that actually knows how to do the job. It's one thing for you to go to class 7 to 5 every single day, Monday class, Tuesday class, Wednesday class, but you lack that practical aspect. Of course, we have a few practical based courses where, because of their syllabi, you are forced to, have practical or lab, lab practicals, or like at our Namibian campus where they actually deal with animals, at our Semnyoma campus where they actually deal with, fish and stuff. But 99% of our fields, they don't offer that practical aspect. And without a practical aspect, where will you go work? Because what am I showing my employer? They don't trust us with the work. They don't trust us with dealing with cases. Even if you are studying law, for example, they don't trust you with actually working on a file, because in class, yes, you are taught the theory aspect, but not the actual practical side. So what I would want to say is then institutions of higher learning need to find a way where we can offer our students practical sides of teaching, and also afford them opportunities such as interning. Many times we want these opportunities to come to us, but sometimes you need to go out there and look for them yourself. So first years, second years that are in this venue, that are in this room, go out from companies door to door. I've interned quite a number of times throughout my 4 years of study, and sometimes the internships don't come to you. You need to actually go out there and find them, because when you have a practical side on your CV, you are more likely to get that job. So yes, unemployment is a crisis that we currently face. I think one of the ways to solve them is just trying to tailor make our syllabi into a practical aspect, where we are able to teach people how exactly to do it on a practical level as well, and not just theoretical level.